This is the hip flow. It's a 5 to 7 minute full body dynamic warm up with emphasis around the hips and T-spine that I learned from my college strength and conditioning coach, who's a Qigong master and just has all these different accolades. But there are parts of yoga, sports performance, some Qigong type movements, right? There's a lot, martial art, different influences. All been influenced to prime the central nervous system to get awake and start to help mobilize and open up the body. So everything that we're going to be doing is 5 reps on each side, and we start with a more joint opener and we work our way through to more of a flow. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our ankles. So we're just doing 5 big rolls around to the outside and then coming on in. With these joint openers, everything that we're doing is we're trying to maximize how much space we are creating. So opening up as much as we possibly can. So not little small ones. We're trying to get to the end range of that joint, open it up with each one. After the ankles, then we're going to go to our knees. Okay, so bend down, slight bend, going around. Some of this stuff will look a little funky, totally understand, but you will feel amazing afterwards. Now we're going to go to our hips. So this one, really try to open up the hips. Hips about shoulder width apart, maybe slightly wider, out to the side. Opening, pushing back. You should feel stretching the hamstrings, come forward. Next for the shoulders. Now we're going to do the wrist and elbow. So wrist going outside, elbows going outside. Now we're going to move to the head. So now, big circles, opening, stretching. With this, try not to get your traps. Try to keep your traps down. Next, we're going to go forward and back. Okay, so try to think of chicken neck and then tuck the chin. I know this one looks weird. Okay, after that, now we're going to start to do a little bit of the upper body. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our thoracic opener. So we're going to hollow out like a cat-cow, if you've ever seen that, right? So you're pushing your hands forward, trying to create a big Humpty Dumpty back, rounding those, opening up those scaps, and then you're going into a big Superman where you're pulling, right, pinching your shoulder blades and coming back. So you have 5. And then I like to go to the side a little bit, open it up. Next, we're going to do our wall reaches. So feet shoulder width apart. I'm trying to just shift and move my body from my hips up. So whatever way I rotate, I'm going to turn and open that palm up to that side. So 5 each side. Rotate, come open. You should feel a big stretch. Don't let this leg lift off the ground. Come back to the other side. And really reach. Imagine you got a wall like a foot on each side of you that you're trying to reach. Next thing we're gonna get into is a lateral lunge into a hip flexor stretch. So drop down as low as you can, come up, rotate the opposite way, squeeze the back glute, reach up, hands go overhead, and you can turn and lean to the opposite side, okay? You may notice some imbalances in terms of flexibility, mobility, but that's okay, that's what we're working on. Now we're gonna stay our feet nice and wide, okay? We're gonna do some pushbacks, so some wide stance pushbacks, okay? Try to keep your back flat, push your hips straight back, big stretch, come forward. Push back, hold for about 2-3 seconds, come forward. Try to keep your legs straight. Try to keep your back flat. Next thing we're gonna go, staying wide stance, now we're gonna rotate. When you're rotating up, try to turn the entire upper body, don't just throw your shoulder back there. Rotate, turn, open up. Rotate, turn, open up. If you need to put like some yoga blocks or some pit plates or anything right here to help you, go ahead and do so. When I'm turning, I'm trying to open this hip up as I do it as well. From here, we're gonna go into down dog or a plank position. Come up, try to lift your hips as high as you can, push your shoulder blades back, come forward. Now we're gonna bring your leg up, come through. So hand, foot, same position. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, elbow down to the floor. Turn and rotate up. This back leg can be down, it doesn't need to be up. Up is a little bit harder, but if you need to start here, start there. Switch legs. Now we're gonna do a look away, push away. So palm inside part of the knee. Push, open up the hip, turn, look away, come back. Push, turn, come back. And if I do 6 reps, it's because I can't count and talk at the same time. So next one we're gonna do, okay, I'm gonna wrap my hand around the outside of my leg, back leg's up. I'm gonna turn and rotate and try to get my hip down to the ground. If you want, you can do all the legs, all same side at once. If you don't want to switch back and forth. Next, we're going to stay in this position. So half kneeling, hands on the hips. We're going to rock our hips forward. So drive our knee over our toe. Try to keep the heel on the ground. Okay, you'll get a little stretch there. Open up, bring your chest up. And then what I want you to think of is activating your hip flexors to pull your hips back. Trying to strengthen those hip flexors a little bit in that deep range of motion. So I come forward, pull myself back, come forward. Pull myself back, and 5 reps. Next thing we're gonna do is just lay straight down on the ground. We're gonna hit our hips for a little bit more of a stretch. It's like a hip stretch complex. So first thing, bring your legs straight up. Keep this leg on the ground. Pull it straight up as far high as you can. Hold for 10 seconds. Now we're gonna go knee opposite shoulder. As much as you can, try to bring it up and across and over. Hold for 10 seconds. Now, place this knee down on the ground, toe pointed up, hand, palm inside of the knee. All you're gonna do is press. So push that way, pull this way. Open the hips up. Now, it's kind of like a pretzel stretch, but we're gonna roll over, okay? I'm trying to bring this hip down to the ground with my shoulders as much as I can. This foot is at a 90-degree angle with the ankle and the shin, and the foot's flat on the ground. Trying to bring that foot over, and then what you can do to add some more to it is raise your hand up and go into the side that your foot's on the ground. This really help open up your whole entire side. Another side. I'm just gonna flip over into a pigeon push-up or a pigeon stretch. Okay, so knee at a 45-degree angle, trying to stay straight over, trying to get this hip down to the ground as much as you can. Now, I call these a pigeon push-up, but it's just because our hands are out in front. Back stays flat, don't round and compensate. Back stays flat as low as you can, going down, holding, and then trying to push up by pushing your leg down into the ground and activating your glutes. So not raising with your low back, you're trying to push yourself up with that glute. So I come down, and if you can, lift yourself up. No hands, you can keep your hands there as long as you're not using any, or you can support yourself with the hands if you need to help yourself up. Okay, so come down, lift yourself back up. Each one trying to get a little bit lower. Now we're gonna get flat on our back. Okay, you might need a little bit of space for this. Hands go out to the side. Lift the leg up as high as you can. Come over and across, keeping this back shoulder down on the ground. You're trying to get this toe and foot up towards your hand. Swing it back, opposite leg up. Just make sure you try to keep the shoulders on the ground. And all we're gonna do is reverse of that. So come down like this, okay? I'm gonna pick my leg up, so use your glute. Pick your leg up, you're gonna turn and rotate over to the side. You're trying to touch your toe towards your hand, okay? So I'm coming up, over, trying to touch. Up, over, trying to touch. Some of you might get a chest stretch out of this too if you're super tight. After that, we're gonna pop up. You drop down into a squat, okay? All you're gonna do is take your hands, put them together, squeeze out. You're just going side to side. Now you're gonna stand up slightly. We're gonna get some hip internal rotation, okay? Pivoting the knee in. Last thing you're gonna do is we're gonna work the ankles, okay? You're just sitting on your toes, tuck your toes, sit back as much as you can. Trying to stretch the arches, the toes out. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get my hips down to my ankles. You're gonna hold for about 30 seconds, or as long as you can. Then feet flat, heels outside, not rotated in. Sitting back down as deep as you can. And you're gonna hold this 30 seconds. So that is the hip float. It's awesome. Comment any questions. See you guys in the next video.